Oh, there it is. I was wondering where I saw Jerry at.
Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Angela O'Hare, your favorite Las Vegas realtor.
Hey, and I'm Rob Howe, Rockstar Realtor.
Thank you for joining us live today. We barely made it with the skin of our own teeth.
As usual.
Yes, as usual. So how you doing?
I'm doing good.
You want to take a sip of that water real quick?
Wow.
Yes.
I ran here as fast as I could.
Yes.
I'm doing good. How about you?
Doing good. Just busy, actually.
Busy, good. Yeah. Busy is good right now, that's for sure.
Yes, definitely. And I thought with the business that we've been doing, I thought it would be great to do a video on why now is a great time to buy a new construction home in the Las Vegas Valley. And so basically, before we get started on that, the number one thing, if you want to buy new construction, before you even view the models, you need to make sure that you bring your real estate agent with you on the very first visit.
Yep.
It's very important because if you don't, then unfortunately, we cannot be your advocate or guide you through that buying process in that community once you've gone in and registered yourself. And so sometimes it's like disheartening. So it's very important that if you are interested in new construction, you don't want to take us along just yet and just want to check out the community, then fill out a fake name or say, you know what, I've already registered. I don't want to register. I don't want to be locked into it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, you right now is more important than ever to have people who understand the process like really well. There's negotiations involved now that wasn't before.
A lot.
And before maybe it wasn't as important. We sure would like to always think it is, but now it is for sure.
Right. And so with the interest rates always creeping up, I wanted to briefly go over the average 30-year rate. Last week was at 7.08%, which is up from 6.94% from a week before, and a year ago is at 3.14. So that's huge increase. Are you looking at what it is now?
Yeah, because they just changed. Well, the Fed rate has changed today.
Okay.
It's not going to. It may have been already priced into the mortgage rate because they kind of are forward seeing, and they're like, oh, we know this 0.75% Fed rate is coming, but in the coming days, it's probably going to tick up a little bit more.
So the reason I feel that, hold on, I'm gonna let the doggy in.
Okay. All right. We're gonna get scratches at the door if we don't let him in.
All right, you go outside, Kai. There you go.
So yeah, the rates today, the Fed rate changed. So that's going to change some things. And it's going to be even more important to be getting as much as you can out of your purchase. And that's why we're doing this one.
Right. So basically, the reason I say now is the best time to buy new construction is that the builders, a handful of them, are offering awesome incentives. On top of lowering their prices, they're also offering buy down closing costs, or buy down your rate and closing cost incentives. So to me, I had a client that we were looking at resale and we were looking at new construction, and he came to the conclusion that it was a no-brainer to buy new construction right now because of all the incentives that these builders are offering.
Yeah.
He can get a brand new home, the same size, cheaper than a resale home, plus also get all his closing costs covered and a 4.99% interest rate compared to your 7% interest rate on a resale home.
Yeah, I mean, well, and that's that. This is if the seller isn't smart and offering basically the same things that.
But 9 times out of 10, sellers aren't offering those.
If they're slow to the stick, they're being silly. It's not the advice I would give sellers that I work with right now, and I think you're right that there are a lot that are in denial. Maybe some of those sellers don't really feel like they have to sell, so they're not going to.
Right.
The builders have a very different incentive right now. And it all comes down to that very reason why they used to have, why they had such a, advantage prior to the last several months. was because of inventory. Now they don't want to see their inventory go way up. So they want to make sure that they're moving some of that inventory, and they'll do a lot to do it. They have the ability, because of the last couple of years, to be flexible with their pricing, which is ironic because before they weren't at all.
Right. Well, another thing too, what happened in a lot of these builders, and I say this in all my videos, that if you guys watch my new construction videos, Toll Brothers, Taylor Morrison, Century Communities, Pulte, to name a few that I can think of right now, what happened was at the height of the market, to help with the whole delay of construction and stuff, they did what's called quick move-ins, spec homes, etc. They were thinking that it was going to be a very stellar year. No one knew that the interest rates were going to go like this, and that they had inventory to support the demand.
Yeah.
Okay. So now what's happening is they have all this inventory sitting there, but the demand is not there. So the builders got creative, thinking, well, you know what can we do to get buyers?
Yeah.
Right. So what the goal of this video is to go over all the different incentives going on with these builders. Now it's only on builders that have standing inventory, not builders that didn't do standing inventory because they don't have any inventory to unload. And the reason the builders want to unload all this inventory is so they can make year-end numbers.
Yeah. They inventory is the builder's enemy, and they want to make sure and move that product. And they want to be able to if they don't move the existing product, then they can't build new product.
Right.
So they have to keep the ball rolling
right.
when it comes to their construction workers, all their resources so they're in a delicate balancing act.
And I think once these builders get rid of this inventory, you're not going to be getting as good of incentives as you are right now.
We're in a very, very rare state where builders are going to do this.
Right. They may offer 3% towards closing costs, but they're not going to offer price reductions, and they're not going to offer buy down on your interest rates.
Yeah. They'll get to a point where it's like, hey, everything's baked in the cake. Right. Right now, it's not baked in the cake. Like kind of what you were saying, they baked the cake.
Yes.
and then it's like, oops. Now so that they had to kind of go back and redo that. Now, going ahead as they clear out, and that's why now and maybe for the next 3 to 4 months is really the super time, I think, to really purchase. It could be we could be looking back on this time as well. You could just do whatever you wanted.
Well, yeah, because they want to get rid of it by year's end. And they do have some of these builders have it staggered where there's going to be some in January, February, March, and you can get some deals on those ones as well, but not on the ones that are going to be closing by year's end. Those are the ones where you can capitalize on so much.
Yeah.
I'm very passionate about this.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and it's you're inspired by their passion.
Right.
I assure you that that's what you're feeling.
Yes.
Is when you go to these builders, they're like, yeah, let's make a deal.
Yeah. I mean, and I've been doing a lot of Lennar lately.
Okay.
And I'm actually finally getting 3% now. In videos past, I always say Lennar. I've always loved Lennar, and I believe in Lennar as a builder.
Homes, yeah.
However, I didn't like it when they cut me out. But now that I'm finally back in the picture, I can really offer a lot of Lennar homes. But a lot of these homes, or my clients, one of them, the price was at 604. We got it down to 549. We just got it even down further. So it's all about having an agent that knows how to negotiate with these builders, because some of them aren't willing to budge when it comes to price, because they still want to make that price for appraisal purposes or for the people that had bought.
Yeah.
They don't want to get the price lower, but they would rather give you a buttload of incentives instead.
Pack it in. Yeah. They'd rather pack it on the back end. And that's, they want to hold up the values that as much as they can. I think that's a dam that is breaking, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
Over time, we've already seen it. You just have certain builders that have already come to that point, right. Or some that maybe, like you said, for inventory reasons, they don't feel the pressure as much.
Because there's a lot of builders that are not offering as many incentives because, again, they weren't on that whole bandwagon of doing standing inventory.
Yeah. So if they're kind of building it as they go, then they don't have the same pressure.
Yeah. So if you're in the market to buy a home this year, obviously, resale could be an option. You may be able to negotiate down in price. You may be able to get the seller to pay for some of your closing costs. But ultimately, if you want a brand new home and a discount and all those other incentives, then I think to me
Yeah.
it's a no-brainer to buy a new construction home.
Yeah, I look, if you want to have your way with the builder right now, this may be for however many months ahead. And I'm thinking of just 3, maybe 4, maybe
Right.
5 months ahead. This could be a real zone for you to go in there and get what you want out of them.
And how much are the Feds going to continue to raise the rates?
Well, that's right before I came here, I watched Jerome Powell, which is the Fed
I've
chairman.
heard of Powell, yeah.
And he spoke about this. I think we're going to see another rate change before the end of the year. We just got one, brand new, packaged and ready to go, 0.75, three-quarter point rate change. That was expected, though. Everybody knew this was coming. This was like, there's no doubt. The only thing we were questioning was whether or not they were going to start talking. Right now, they've been what's called hawkish. And what we want to start seeing is them start talking dovish, which means they're going to start relaxing things or not at least continuing. They're still in a hawkish state. They feel that the inflation has not moved much at all, and if not still kind of creeping up. So they're making this move. They're going to keep an eye on it, but they're already kind of saying probably another one coming ahead, maybe before the end of the year. They're very, very aggressive. This is another reason why, as soon as possible, if you're into buying, if you want to buy, you need to do it as soon as possible. It's just costing you more as time goes by.
Right. So, like, people worry about the prices keep on going down. Yes, prices are going down. And next week, Rob and I will be doing a market update to see how we fared for the month of October. But ultimately, even if the prices go down, interest rate goes up, then it's a half a six a dozen of the other. If the prices stay, but the interest rate's lower, so you can be paying the same.
What you have to do is get your rate as low as possible and get that price as low as possible. Where the happy median is really up to you and your threshold of what makes you happy when you look at your mortgage. Right. I think that's the way I would look at this. A lot of people are going to try to hit the bottom and time this perfectly, and they're going to miss badly. I just believe that's going to be the case. It's really hard to hit this exactly right and say, okay, wait, I'm going to wait till they start dropping rates. Well, other factors are going to start coming into play. And I just think that you have to look at what's important to you in this moment. If you have to get in a home, if you're moving to Vegas, you better make that happen. And renting is not going to help you out right now. So you're in a rock and a hard place in that way. But like what she's talking about, and what I would also talk about when it comes to the resale market, maybe a little more, I got to dig around and find those opportunities. Whereas
that's why you need an agent that knows where all those opportunities are.
But you can go to these new home builders as well and boom, 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 beat them up. Tell them, hey,
not you. You need to bring us. We're free.
Well, that's what I mean. I mean, right, we're going to do that together.
Right.
But you have to, you have to take advantage of hey, I'm getting hurt, builder. Guess what you're going to have to do?
Yeah.
You're going to have to bleed for me a little bit.
Yep. And they will bleed.
Yeah.
So we're going to go over the list of builders that are offering incentives that I'm aware of. And if you've been watching my YouTube channel lately, I've been doing a lot of model home tours. I'm not that type of agent that does model home tours.
Sounds like you are, though.
Well, only in Summerlin. But the reason,
well,
only in Summerlin I was because of my whole thing. Right. The only reason I started doing all these model home tours was that, one, I'm educating myself as to where all this new construction is, and two, I believe right now is the best time to buy new construction. I'm just very heavily, you can get some really huge, deep discounts.
Yeah. I mean, I watched a video of a guy who's very, he's a market guy, and he's not excited about the overall market. But when he got to new homes, when he started talking about new homes, he got very excited, and he said, look, you just don't see this.
Yes.
You don't see what the builders are doing very often. So if you can hit it at the right time, relatively speaking.
Yeah, and their deals are ever changing. It's just constantly always something new. If one doesn't work, they have something new. And I think sometimes the better deals were a month or so ago when they were offering 3.99% interest rate, because as that interest rate goes up, it's going to be harder to offer that lower interest rate.
Absolutely.
So, but maybe the price came down a little. So again, it doesn't matter, because if you're getting it at a higher interest rate at a lower price, it's going to be the same price as if it was at a higher price and a lower interest rate.
Well,
right?
I just know that sounded confusing, but
Yeah,
it wasn't. It wasn't. It wasn't.
You follow me, folks?
Yeah.
All right. So Toll Brothers is having their fall savings event from now until December 4th. You get up to 3% credit at closing on in-progress homes and 50% off up to $100,000 in options to be built homes. All right. So this is nothing to me. This kind of incentive is nothing, because a lot of builders were offering that before this craziness.
Okay.
This is what a lot of builders were offering anyway if you use their in-house lender. So for
Right.
Toll Brothers to offer
Other
3%,
than the 50% part.
well,
right.
that's if you do build, you get 50% off if you do the.
If you
to be built.
Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha.
So to me, 3% is nothing, because you're still paying the higher interest rate. Right?
So, yeah.
Yeah. So this one's an okay sales event, but for me, I wouldn't take advantage of it.
And they're just being Toll Brothers. They know they have awesome homes.
Yeah. They do, and they take years to build.
Maybe less time in the future.
I had a client, I don't know if I mentioned this, but they went under contract in June of 2021. We just closed last month. 16 months.
Yeah.
And it was Regency, and it wasn't like a super big house.
Yeah. I had a townhome that took a year.
Yeah. I have one in Maravilla, and it was supposed to be done at the end of this year. It's not till next year.
Very long time. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so I'm going to go over the list of communities that are offering the incentives by Toll Brothers. You have Acadia Ridge, which is in Summerlin, Cordillera, Summerlin, Mesa Ridge. They have very few left in the Skyview collection. Maravilla, Regency, all in Summerlin. Then you have Aviano, the Montrose collection, Vista Rosa collection, Paloma collection, and Valera collection, all in Sky Canyon. Then you have Casina Ranch and Southwest, Amiata and Henderson, and Everly and Henderson. So those are all the Toll Brothers communities that are offering that 3% incentives, because they have what's called QMIs, or quick move-ins. You want to?
Oh, well, they asked about Sky Canyon. Claudia Diaz asks, what do you guys think about Sky Canyon and where it's headed?
Well, if you watch any of my videos on YouTube, I promote a lot in Sky Canyon. Yes. Yeah. I love Sky Canyon. I love the Northwest. But, as for building, I don't know how many years Sky Canyon has left to go.
It'd be interesting to ask them how long their projected project was, or is. Or
they started in 2018. And
they had probably a projected at least 10-year.
Well, they have it in 4 phases right now. Mm-hmm. And I will be posting next week. Stay tuned to my channel on Monday. I did a neighborhood drive-through video of Sky Canyon. Plus, I'll be going over a lot of the builder incentives as well, and going over a lot of the new construction communities in Sky Canyon. I'll be driving through it. So stay tuned to that. The next builder is Taylor Morrison. Sorry, forgot to turn off
decline.
And they have the save up to $50,000 on a new home. Basically, they're saying you can save up to between $10,000 to $50,000 plus on a new home, either to use towards closing costs, to permanently buy down your rate, a temporary buy down, which would be a 2-to-1 or 3-to-1 buy down, and then other items that you could utilize that money towards. Also, they are having another event that ends November 30th. For a limited time, you can secure 5.99% interest rate, or you can lock in the first year at 3.99, the second year at 4.99, and then from years 3 to 30, 5.99. So those are really, I think, great incentives.
Yeah.
Because even at 5.99, that's better than 7%. That's better than 8%, where the interest rates are now.
Oh, for sure.
Plus, all your closing costs are taken care of. That's $15,000 plus that you don't have to come out cash.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
Right. Come on, folks, ask us questions. So the communities that are offering incentives by Taylor Morrison this is all in Palmer Ranch. It's the Heights, the Estates, the Point, and the Crest, all in North Las Vegas. Desert Pearl and Spring Valley, Castellano 1 and 2, and Savannah and Jade Ridge, and Crested Canyon, all in Summerlin.
All righty.
We're moving right along.
Well, that I have been getting some lenders that want, they're promoting these 2-to-1, 3-to-1
Buy downs
programs. Yeah.
Yeah, but the buyer has to come up with the money unless they can get the seller to buy it down to that rate.
Yeah. Well, it's there.
Right. Right.
The problem is when you go to a builder, it's very simple. Here's what we're doing.
Right.
It's a little harder for me to explain. I see my buyers, whenever I see my buyers' eyes rolling back into their heads, like, what's happening? That's when I'm concerned.
The only advice I have to give to sellers right now is don't sell.
Well, that you got to be careful about just saying don't sell.
I know.
Because look, depending on somebody's situation,
right?
If they can't wait this out, because so I always we tell buyers, you're buying to stay in the home for at least 3 to 5 years.
Right.
Okay, this way you're insured that we'll get through whatever's happening right now, and on the other side of it, you can take part in your equity play and so on and so forth. And ideally, which I would say almost without doubt, you should be in a very safe territory. The problem is that some people need to sell sooner than that.
No, I understand
can't
that.
Wait the 3 to 5 years to sell. So if they need to get it done, they need to get it done now.
Right.
Don't wait till later, because we
January,
don't know what's happening later. And as a seller, this is why these builders are giving you such a good. It goes back to why we're here talking about this, because they don't know what the future holds, as far as they want to be able to dish the discounts right now.
Right.
And get it done. And before the year's end, they have a lot of different motivations. It's not just because they think, oh, the sky is falling. I don't actually think that's it. I think they think, okay, we just don't know exactly how long things go, how much this puts people on pause. So let's get it done while there's relatively good numbers that the Fed hasn't knocked down yet.
Yeah, well, too, is because they had all that robust building. They have so much inventory that they need to get rid of, and they're corporations. All these builders are corporations. They need to make their year-end numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think realistically, once all these builders get rid of their inventory, we're going to see a major slowdown in new construction, because I didn't go over this in the note.
Absolutely.
Was that builders land buying activity has also basically decreased to zero as they wait and see where things end up going by the end of this year.
Yeah, well, because part of this whole deal is going to be the layoff side of it. And sadly, in construction, especially built homes, when you're hitting it hard like this, that's where you're going to see some of those layoffs.
Yeah.
I hate to say it, or basically just not using them, not necessarily even laying people off. Just sorry, we don't have any work.
Yeah.
Now,
if you're into redoing your home, now may be a good time, because people need work.
Yes. I think, yes.
If you want to remodel, because at the beginning of this year, like summertime, I was getting estimates and it was redonkulous. It was ridiculous, the prices.
Yeah.
Now
they're starting to slow down a little bit.
Yeah. Wait till
some of these people have work.
Right.
They're still finishing up.
Right.
But you watch, let's get through the end of the year.
Yeah.
I think you're right about that.
And I'm like, thank God I waited. I'm going to start my whole remodel project again.
There you go. We'll see what happens.
So that's the point, is that the builders have come to a halt. So these communities that may be building in the future, may not, who knows when they're going to be coming, because, they got to sell their other communities first before they move forward with a new community.
They're going to take a different posture when they know that it's like, we're only building so many at a time. We're building for demand.
Right.
It's different posture.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. And again, when it becomes a normal market, don't expect them to be giving the barn away or offering.
No, they'll be more patient.
Yes, they'll be patient.
Yeah.
So it'll be a whole nother mindset. So then we have Pulte Homes, and they have their limited time year-end savings, and they're offering 4.99% interest rate on a 30-year fixed loan on select move-in homes that must close by November 30th.
Ooh, that's gotta
And
be
you
quick.
have to use the Pulte mortgage, and you do have to put 20% down. So that is a caveat to take advantage of a lot of
Many
these
of these
incentives,
programs, yeah.
depending on your finance. If you're VA, FHA, you may not have to put as much down, but when you're doing a conventional loan, they are requiring you to have 20% down and also having a decent interest. Credit
Score.
Yeah.
Of course. Yeah.
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 So what I notice a lot of these builders were doing is they're offering you total 6% towards your closing costs. Part of that percentage is going to be used towards the buy down, so you can get the 4.99%. The remaining balance is going to go towards your closing cost. So that's what that up to 6% is. Pulte's doing it. I know Lennar's doing it. So
if you got 20% down,
yeah,
that's all you need.
Yeah.
You don't need the over.
And you don't have to extra
anymore.
for the extra 15,000, depending on the price of the home, for your closing costs.
And even maybe you don't even need to come in with wet cash for some of these upgrades and things. You can probably get
everything's been selected.
Oh, these are for the
these are all these all have to be for quick
you don't
move-in
have that.
homes. Yeah.
You don't have what about lot premiums?
That's all part of the price of the home now.
Doing away with that.
Yeah.
Okay, so
some of like Pulte over in Talvona and Sky Hills, they're slashing their prices left and right because they had so much when it was a new community. When they opened, they spec'd out a lot of homes. They need to get rid of that shit.
Yeah. Well, it's almost easier just to say, hey, bring your down payment. Bring your down payment. Get a 4.99 or maybe even better, or a stepped, sort of structured type of deal. There you go.
Yeah.
20%. And go negotiate the hell out of it with myself or Ange, and you're gonna buy a new home and be happy.
Yep. And all these are in great locations. So Pulte's communities that are offering the Senate incentives as Carmel Cliff, that's almost closed out, but they slashed prices on their lot premiums before. When they were 25,000 at 0,000, when they were 150, they slashed the prices.
It's so
on
crazy the perception how it just is. Listen,
and how fast it turned.
Yeah, this is still amazing areas that people were basically bludgeoning each other over, to get in on these lots. And now you don't have to do that. It's a weird thing that you have to battle the human psyche here. If you're somebody who recognizes that this is your opportunity to get in and not have to deal with what a lot of people had to deal with a few months ago, you're very smart. And
a lot of people are like, well, I don't want to pay too high. I don't want to have the most expensive house. Well, how do you think the people who bought last year feel?
There you go.
You're still not that high. If you get a good deal like this, then, think about it in that terms of these people that bought at the beginning of this year, and now their house is closing at the end of this year. And then you're buying that same house and getting 50,000 or 100,000 off, plus all these incentives that they didn't get.
The biggest, they put a lot of cash in it. The big difference is maybe you're paying a little bit. Not maybe, you're paying more in interest rate. That's right. But again, with a lower price, not having to pay all these costs that that are getting removed.
Yeah, it's a balancing act.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
Yeah, but now you get to pick the litter.
Yeah.
It's weird. I'm just saying, people love lines. Vegas is built on lines. They have the clubs here, and it's like they'll have that club half full, but there'll be a line out the door. It looks like it's full because everybody's waiting to get in it. But no, people just go.
There's something happening there. Let's go wait in line.
Yeah, have you seen that? Like they did this. It was a game show thing where they did I forget it was called Mind Something. But they did a thing on Fremont Street where they just set up a pole and started lining people up. And then random people who had no idea why people were there just started getting in the line.
That's funny.
It's a human psyche thing to see, oh, you know what? Everybody's doing it. I want to go over there and do that.
Right.
And then they were talking in the line. Like, what are we here for? I don't know. We're just in line. It seemed cool. They're drinking. Like,
I'm in line. So let's have a party. Let's have a.
Avoid that mentality, folks. That's cheap stuff. Go and be a
tailgate party.
Go and be a lion and wrestle down your deal.
So, and then Blacktail, Summerlin, those are the 3-story homes with rooftop decks. They recently opened, but they do have some incentives. Talvona and Valridge over in Sky Hills. Del Webb at North Ranch. Now, this one, they're offering some really, really good incentives, and they're also offering to pay the first year of HOA.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's nice.
Alder Vista and North Ranch in North Las Vegas. You know what? I'm not going to list all of these houses.
It's a lot.
I have a blog post. Once I'm done, I'll produce the link of the blog post in here, so that way you can look at all the communities that are offering incentives.
My goodness, they're in various states of completion as well. Some of these are almost done. I mean, they're
so some of them will be ready now, but some of them are going to be ready by year's end.
Right.
And that's the only way you can take advantage of these savings is if they close by year's end, not if they close in January. Or not if they close in February.
That'll be different. That'll be something different. It may not be as good. Maybe it's better. We don't know.
I've noticed again with these incentives, as each month goes by, the incentives aren't as good because they're in competition with the rising interest rates. So, next month you'll be waiting to see where it's at, but it'll be too late to buy next month because they need to close and they need 30 days to close. So now, that's what I'm saying.
You may not want to wait.
Now is the time to buy.
Another interest rate hike would really kick your butt off.
Yes, so. And these incentives are ever changing constantly. You have to always pay attention to it. Okay. So the next builder is Century Communities, and they're having their 20th anniversary sale with limited special financing. They're offering 1% off for 1 year, and you must close on a quick move-in home before December 30th. I don't understand that 1%. So basically it says lock in an incredible 4.75% interest rate for the first year. Okay. On a 30-year. Yeah. Okay. I see. And then it goes up 1% to 5.75% for the remaining.
So it's very simple.
Yes. Yeah. And all you have to do, this is for VA and FHA, put 3.5% down and have a credit score of 640 or higher.
Yeah.
Now, for the same community, Century Communities, it's at 5.125 if you use a conventional 30-year loan. The first year is 5.125, and then the second year in years 2 through 30, it goes up to 6.125 with 10% down and a credit score of 720 or higher.
Yeah.
So 6.12 is kind of still high, but last month, Century Communities had a better, as the months go by, even though they may be dropping the prices, the interest rates are going up. Because
there's at some point they just can't skim it off. It's basically about a 2-point swing that they can do.
Right.
So if the rates go up they're about to click over 7, so you can get down to 5 now.
Right.
Last month you might have been able to get it down to 4.5 or so.
Right. And so a lot of their communities, they have a lot in Sky Canyon, which I've done videos on, the Maravella, Eagle Point, Quintero 1 and 2. And so when I had talked to the sales rep yesterday at Maravella, they have a bunch of the homes spec'd out, but they're not going to be completed in phases. So their main focus right now is selling the homes that are going to be closing in December. And that's how a lot of these builders are. They're not worried about anything that's going to be closing 2 months from now. They just want to get year-end numbers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why, that's why you can get excited about this, because you're seeing that they really are trying to make something happen.
Yeah, and so Lennar is also offering a limited time on select move-in ready homes, and then they're offering that 6% up to 6% towards buy down and closing costs. Okay. So just like I was talking about Pulte, how they do that. You can get your interest rate at probably 4.99, depending on your credit score. And then the remaining balance can be utilized towards your closing costs.
Yeah.
Okay. So I've been selling a lot of Lennar homes lately because, I've been wheeling and dealing.
It looks like
really negotiating.
Yeah. They're willing to do a little bit of price cuts and stuff. So,
yeah. And there's a whole shikes load of Lennar homes. Again, I'll post it on my website and post a link in the description below once we get off. Then we have Rich American Homes, and they are on homes that close by December 23rd. Enjoy 5.5% interest rate on FHA and VA loans, or 5.875 on a 30-year conventional. Or it says the 5.5 conventional 7 to 6 ARM finance. I don't even know what that means.
ARM, well, it's adjustable rate.
Yeah, but 7/6 ARM financing.
What? You go ahead. I'll see.
This is all, again, for their quick move-in homes, and you have to use their in-house lender. And lastly, finally, TriPoint Homes is coming to the game. And they are...
It's a 7 year.
Oh, so every year the interest rate goes up?
No, it would be after 7 years that... So the first 7 years, your rate is locked
5.5.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. So now TriPoint Homes is having about what's called How About Now event, and during this event, you can take advantage of a limited time 5.625% interest rate, as well as other benefits on the home that you can live in. But basically, it was very kind of like not... The only two communities they said online was Capri and Henderson and Azura Park in North Las Vegas. So I'm not for certain if you could take advantage of all the other TriPoint homes across the valley, or if it's only those two.
I'd be happy to go find out.
Yeah.
If you like TriPoint, which...
And they used to, TriPoint was also offering, a lot of these builders do always offer incentives if you use their in-house lender. Yeah. Sometimes it could be 2% off a base price towards closing costs. Sometimes it's 3% off a purchase price. It just varies. That's nothing new. I think the most important thing to me is offering that additional 3% to help towards closing costs.
Sweeten the pot.
Yeah, sweeten the pot more.
Yeah. Well, my guess is sometimes, you're not going to see some of their advertisement. You go in, right, and you're going to see specific to that community. Some of these builders are going to say, okay, well,
they need to advertise that crap so I can advertise it.
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to say that the builders are always the smartest on doing that.
Right.
They sometimes they have a hard time telling you where they're at, let alone advertising.
If you guys bought any new construction homes and know of any builders that we did not mention in this video,
wonderful.
Let us know if they're offering incentives. I'm not too familiar with a lot of them. Some of them may offer $10,000 towards closing costs, but some of them may not. You know, it's just right now the market is ever changing, and the top builders that I'm talking about are Pulte Homes. Oh, obviously all the builders we mentioned: Toll Brothers, Pulte Homes, Taylor Morrison, Richmond American, Century Communities. I think that's it. Did I cover it all?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think if you're a shopper, this is your delight right now.
Right.
You can shop and you can, go in there and see who gives you the best deal. That's great. I mean, typically though, when it comes to a home, it's not just about the deal. You're looking at, do I love this area? Do I love this home? Do I love what they've done with it, the floor plan? So, they know that too. They know that once you've kind of dug what they do, not everybody does the same thing.
Right. Right. So we have one question by Bill. It says, where are the best condo areas for single retirees with great amenities? Well, condos are kind of like, depending on if you can buy them or rent them. So, the one condo community that comes to mind is Trilogy Summerlin.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Not a lot for retirees in the condo area.
Right.
Trilogy is the one that.
But that you would have to buy. If you're thinking about renting, I have no idea. I can't help you out there.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Well, exactly. You'd have to be looking at those communities, but hoping somebody's renting there, which is going to be few and far between in these newer ones.
Yeah, because they have a lot of strict restrictions on rental
restriction, and most people are buying for primary residence.
Right.
So, you're not going to find a lot.
Well, you guys were very quiet today. Do you want to add anything?
Well, I speaking of being quiet, I think, maybe our timing is a little off here right now. Every time the Fed speaks, people have a little bit of a, what's going on?
Right.
So a lot of what you're going to see if you click on YouTube right now is a whole bunch of doomsday stuff like, and here, something that absolutely strikes me right now is that what's different about now versus there's clear differences in what's happened before when I got into the business, when the market was in shambles. Okay.
Right.
Compared to now, there's clear differences in my mind because there's really only been one reason. That's the interest rates. And we were dealing with high prices. So that's done this, right? We go, and now it's coming down a little bit.
Right.
But what I think is the biggest difference is social media. because I
Mm.
think that, yeah, think about this.
Mhm.
Everybody's out here and we do it. We talk and we have sometimes, the the headlines, our
Mhm.
big what do you call it?
Catchers or whatever you
Yeah.
call that.
So people, they're all out there just going on about how bad things are and how crazy it's going to get, and they're just almost just saying this so they can get more people to listen to them, view them.
Clickbait.
Clickbait, a lot of clickbait. And social media this is a new effect on the marketplace, if you will, in my mind.
Right.
Because I don't think this is this is a clear, it's like a precision strike by the federal government to deal with a larger problem that really did have stuff to do with the real estate market, but has to do with the overall economy.
Right.
Okay. So I think it's very interesting that the information that people are getting is so affected by that. So that's why, I guess, going off right now, why maybe people are quiet is because there's this big wave of what everybody's into, and not really everybody's thinking, you know what, maybe now is a great time to buy.
Right.
I think you need to be ahead of the curve on your opportunity. That's where I agree 100% with this video, which is to say, maybe not right now, maybe so, but maybe not. You have to decide and figure out where your opportunity is, because I guarantee every time, every moment in the market, there's an opportunity.
Right.
There always is. And the thing is that right now there's so much of this negative energy, there's so much of this negative talk, that I think it's swinging things, just the perception alone.
Right.
And in 2008, we didn't have that. It took many years for things to sort of unfold. It took a while for the message.
Yeah, because Facebook was just starting.
Yeah, I can't tell you how many people bought, even though we were well into the problem that was happening, which was a completely different problem than what we're having now.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? And they were unaware. Now I think people are over aware.
Right.
They're over aware. They're sold on
You're
this idea that there's
when it happened
that the
in
plane is
2008,
crashing.
I really didn't know what was until they had that movie that came out. Remember that movie?
And then by then it's done. The movie came out and it was already done.
Oh, that's what happened.
Yeah, right. The Big Short, I think, or something. But so that's what's dawned on me lately, is that we have this, social media effect on everything.
Right.
There's good because it brings attention to a lot of things, but it also brings an overwhelming amount of attention sometimes. And not that I don't think we should all be paying attention to this. I just think it gets
overinflated.
The line, speaking of inflation,
right.
We're inflating the problem.
Right.
When to me, it's, unless other shoes drop, and they can, but I think time and those shoes to drop need to be evident. And most of the people that are talking about, especially the "I told you so" folks.
Yes, we get a lot of those on our channel.
I told you so
6 months ago the market was going to crash.
But we talked about every little bit of that too. We had talked about, well, hey, these changes could be coming. These things are,
right.
And that I do notice that there are even still some antiquated things that are behind. I get this Better Homes and Gardens thing email, and all their stuff is like 2 months behind. I'm like, well, no crap, that's happening.
Well, because they researched it, and then by the time they publish it, so it all gets,
but there's a lot of real time, like what we're doing right now. So I don't know. I just find that to be an interesting observation. Take it however you want to take it. Obviously, we're not financial advisors, but I think you can be, listen to a lot of different people and make, ultimately the decision lies up on you.
Right.
What is best for you? Look at the numbers, be smart. If you're a deal shopper, your time is now. If you're a cash buyer, your time
is now.
Your time is now and going ahead. And especially for primary residence. Now, a lot of the investors are getting, that's another weird thing. All these investors that you would think of as very steeled and strong and like, we can take things. Some of these people are getting spooked out of their minds right now, which is weird.
Yeah. Well, we just went under contract on a new, in a Sun City, Summerlin. The house was like in the 5. I went to, when we looked at it, it was 484. Then it dropped to 474. we made an offer and we finally got it down to 460. And this is one of the flipper houses where it's like highly updated and everything's been done.
Yeah.
So my clients were happy and they were cash buyers. So cash people are going to get some really good deals.
Yeah.
And people that are buying new construction. But we do have some questions.
Yeah.
Brandon, yes, I know Nora Model over there. Is it the Aria or the Archer over there, Lennar Homes? I'd have to see when it's actually going to be closing, even though it is a quick move-in. I'd have to call my rep to see if it's end of or December closing or November closing in order to tell you how much of a discount I'd be able to get for you.
Guaranteed you're going to be able to get something there, though.
Yeah, you'll be able to get something. How much I'd have to, again, look at what's going on, because if it's not ready until January, then forget about it. But if it's a December closing house, then yes, you can get a very super duper phenomenal deal. And then
Lionel Brown, a couple of things. Yeah, and you guys are kind of talking to each other, which is great. Lionel says, you are right. I was glued to the water issue. Now, the water issue, again.
Because there's a lot of clickbait. People were saying doomsday about the water issue.
Well, and because it is real too. Like so you have the combination of something real happening, which is same thing in the market. There is real thing happening.
Right.
Okay. Nobody's saying there isn't anything happening.
Right.
Okay. That would be ridiculous. But then the overdoing of that, what is real happening. Right. And so being glued to the water issue, I've seen that a lot. And then even just everything surrounding it when they find dead bodies. And I mean, it's very interesting. It kind of sucks you in a little bit.
Right.
Right. And we love drama. We are literally, I think maybe I just dawned on something that we're like watching our own virtual reality, not even virtual, in real time soap opera.
Right.
Of everything that's happening, whether it's, the market. So, it's in real time soap opera of what's happening each day. Let's wake up and figure out, what the politics are, what the market's doing, what Lake Mead is doing, whatever. I mean, it's a fascinating, I don't know, you could go down a rabbit hole on it all day.
So, Brandon, if you've already talked to Lennar sales rep and you've been communicating with them, unfortunately, I can't get you any deals. Because that's it. They're very, very, very strict, especially in I've tried to get a couple clients. And if you've given them your information and they're emailing you, then unfortunately, I can't help you. No agent can help you in reality.
Yeah.
I've tried with Lennar. So if it's December, then, there's a possibility again, if you want to reach out, give me a call. My number's posted, or give Rob a call, post it down in the description below. And we can discuss further what the next steps are. But the operative word is, if you've already talked to the Lennar sales rep and you're receiving emails from them, then it's too late.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. Maybe you'll like something else.
Yeah.
We can show you something else.
Specifically for that community, in the Sunstone community. Now, if it's another Lennar home away, then that could be a possibility.
Yeah. Hey, might as well check it all out.
It says, if this is the time, it won't be missed for a lack of trying. Okay.
What is that? I don't know. I'm not sure what that's in reference to. But Michael Billups, I feel like I know Michael Billups.
He comments all the time on our videos.
But I think I might know him anyway. The water isn't a significant issue to be worried about. Well, I mean, on some level, you're worrying just to worry, because what are you going to do other than your own conservation efforts and your own, I guess, talking about it to other people? But worry to worry is what you're going to do about that, because this is a little bit out of our individual hands. Yeah.
Hey, Michael, did your home finish over there in Arroyo's Edge? I can't remember when you said it was going to be finished. He bought over a Tri-Point home in Arroyo's Edge.
I know Michael. I just don't know.
Michael, do you know him?
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, back at you.
Anything else you want to add to
next week? He's closing. Sweet. Congrats.
You have to take pics. So real quick, I did a video. I am doing a call. What's going on with me is I'm doing a neighborhood drive-through series that started this Monday, and every Monday for the next 6 months, I will be posting a video in all the neighborhoods in the Las Vegas Valley. I started in the Northwest, so next will be Sky Canyon on Monday, Sunstone, etc. And I'm working my way down North Las Vegas and working my way down. So I was very busy for the last couple months making lots of videos. And I also changed my website to neighborhoodsinlasvegas.com to kind of tie into doing the neighborhood tours. So it used to be summerlincommunities.com, but I had mentioned in one of my videos, Summerlin got on to me for using Summerlin in my URL as a trademark violation. So then I just said, well, neighborhoods in Las Vegas. And that's what it is.
Yeah. And
Black Mountain.
I'm just Rob Howe, Rockstar Realtor now. It was.
He doesn't know. You don't know.
I guess somehow the name is super familiar. Not just from seeing it here, but anyway. Michael.
Well, Claudio goes, are you seeing any creative financing opportunities? Well, obviously, what we're talking about, 2-to-1, 3-to-1 buy downs are creative. Yeah, those are creative financing.
I am seeing I'm going to talk about assumptions. I'm going to do a video that's going to be partially based on assumptions. This would be more in the resale market because you're assuming loans. This is something that's going to come back big time, especially when you can assume a loan that might have a really low interest rate on it. The trick to that is the seller getting paid properly so that they can, selling their home at a price that they're happy to do so with. But I'm going to do some talking about that.
Yeah, Black Mountain's in Henderson, so that's going to be a long time before I get over that way. No offense, because I live in the northwest part of the valley, so I'm focusing on the neighborhoods. So there's
a lot over here. So
yes, there's so many neighborhoods over here that I highly promote and like because as an agent, it's nice to, yes, we can sell anywhere in the valley, but it's also nice to specialize in areas because you're the expert in that area. I think it's very important to at least specialize in an area and not knowing a little of everything. Does that make sense? I guess we know a little of everything.
I mean, I'll sell real estate anywhere.
Yeah, I'll sell anywhere too.
I've been here all my life. I feel like, I have a pretty vast knowledge of anywhere in the town.
Right.
But it is nice. It does very much feel smoother when you can go to an area that you have an extreme amount of knowledge about.
Right.
But there's no reason why we couldn't walk in and maybe even give you a better service than some agents that might say they're the expert in some area that, you be careful of some folks that say they're that,
Well, I'm an expert of Summerlin. No. So you got to be careful of me. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, just make sure you're getting good information because, people say things and then they aren't,
Anyway, folks, well, we're going to try not to make this, which we did almost an hour. Hopefully next week when we go over the market update, we will just brush over new construction because I wanted to do this now so that our market update isn't extremely long either.
I think it would be a good idea if it'll take you a moment just to kind of figure out if there have been any changes.
Just go over the changes.
Yeah, because there very well be. This was a big marker down day, for what's happening, and so let's see what the difference is. Had you decided to make a move last week versus
this week,
the following week from now,
right?
This week versus basically early this week to next week,
right?
Rob, if you could just speak properly.
You're talking in circles.
I know.
I'm just kidding.
Whoa. I like to take people on a ride. Whoa. Where's he going? I don't know. I don't even know.
So this time I'm getting better. I've posted Rob's information down in the description below. So if you want to reach out to Rob, his phone number, email address, a couple of his social media handles are on there.
Thank you.
And then my information is on there as well. That way you don't have to ask, what's Rob's last name? How do I get a hold of Rob? You know what I mean? Oh, we have another question.
This is an interesting one. Builder contingencies on a spec home. Boy, will they do contingency? Do you think?
Well, because the spec home is closing so fast, Lionel, that do you have to have all your ducks in a row?
If you have an offer on your property already, accepted offer, under contract, that is how it's going to happen. If it's under contract in escrow, that's how it's going to happen. Otherwise, I don't think anybody wants to look at your contingency right now, just because it can be difficult to sell your home. And if you're not being super realistic and doing the things to sell your home, then it's a pipe dream,
And then price reduction incentives will increase in McDonald Highlands. I think those are what Christopher Homes. I don't even know if Christopher Homes are offering, or is there even
That's
new
like a
construction still
luxury
left?
builder over
Yeah.
there. You know, I would look at resale over there personally. If you want to, I guess if you want to build a super awesome luxury home, but I just think, you know, build up, ground up. There may not be a lot of ways to create incentives because of the you're still dealing with shortages on your stuff. You're still getting people that have to go out there and build, and the cost is the cost. Maybe
Well, I mean, they do have some like those townhomes by Christopher Homes,
okay.
and things up there. I haven't been up to McDonald Ranch or McDonald Highlands.
Well, if they
in a
have
while.
that, then I would say there is an opportunity there. You know, but let's go find out.
Right. Take Rob with you.
Yeah, she doesn't want to go out there. I'm happy to go out there.
Anyway, folks, thank you so much for watching, and thank you for all your interaction. We really, really, really appreciate it. We always like when you guys interact and ask us questions, because it keeps us on our toes.
Yeah.
Right. And it proves to you how knowledgeable we are.
Or not sometimes.
I'm just kidding.
Oh, that's not our area.
Anyway, thank you again.
Hey, rock on.
And do it peacefully. And
we will
see you on the next one.
Yeah, folks.
Bye.
Go Knights.
Go Raiders.